Say Tony Moore's in the building. What up, Tone? This is Acquired Taste. I'm your host, Sal. We're sponsored by Studio Breed. We have dope conversations with dope people like my man who just showed up. What up, Dante?
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed. And you here. It took a little bit of work, but you here, baby. I appreciate you.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. Thank you for having me, bro. Thank
Absolutely, man. Where else will we be with you right now on a Friday night? Where else will we be?
Shoot, man. On a Friday night, right here in the studio.
Oh, making that money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. That's where I'll be.
Absolutely.
Right now.
So this thing is for people who do not know you. All of those fans that have not been introduced to you before. We're trying to introduce you to a bunch of new people. And to me, because I've been doing a little digging, but I want to hear it straight from the horse's mouth. You being a horse, Dante, where are you from?
Man, I'm from Philadelphia, PA, born and raised. Man, I grew up all over Philly because I have family everywhere. So I spent a lot of time in Oak Lane and Germantown and Nicetown. So I got family everywhere. I grew up everywhere. So got a piece of everything.
Okay, so as the Philadelphians would say, up north. You from up north?
Yeah.
Yep. From up north. So how did Philly influence your sound?
Oh my gosh. Well, musically, because my family is a family of musicians. The only thing I grew up to is just music. So from writing and to singing and all sorts of instrumentations. I stayed on the music scene. I still am on the music scene. So I will just have to say, man, it's just a collaboration of just so many different musicians and people that have contributed to the way that I make my music now.
Dope. It's the energy. Philly has a feel all of its own.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It doesn't feel anywhere else. So
yeah.
In all of that, who would you say is your largest influence?
Oh my gosh. My largest influence. Shoot. Man, that's crazy. That's a crazy question.
Hey, man, listen, you got one, man. You got to take a pick. There's somebody, right? I mean, there's a lot of people that make up Voltron, right? But there's somebody at the head, somebody at the top. Super 80s reference for you.
Shoot, man. I would say my dad. Okay. My dad is Grammy nominated, Stellar Award nominated, musician, drummer for a lot of gospel influencing and things that he's done with his group Wilmington Chester from back in the day. So his work ethic, his drive for music and composition would definitely help me move forward.
So you second generation talent.
Oh yeah. 100%.
If you know anything about like talent, like if you get like the sons, like the fathers are usually like the innovators, like when it comes to like Ford or Ferrari or Lamborghini, and the sons are usually like the engineers or the artists when they come behind it and they end up crafting the thing a little bit better. But anyway, it has nothing to do with nothing. Look at that. So for Dante, right? What is art, Dante?
What is art?
What is art?
Woo. Art is whatever you desire for it to be. I think you can't just pinpoint it to one designation, because then you become consumed into a box. And I don't think art should be boxed in. It just needs to be free thinking, free creativity, and whatever you feel, you just do it. Sometimes painters, when they get the brush and they get the paint, they just go. Sometimes they just go and they create some amazing pieces based off of what they got going on up in here during that day or that time. Right. So same thing with music. Like you can, turn on the keyboard, turn on your MPC, whatever it is that you use, and just start to create. Some people just go like that. So art to me is just free. It's free thinking.
Super dope. Super dope. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Yesterday we got a dope t-shirt. Today your t-shirt art is free thinking.
Free thinking.
Yeah, art is free thinking. I love it. So because you a globetrotter, musician, I'm sure you all over doing everything with everybody. Who keeps you humble?
Who keeps me humble? My family. My family keeps me humble. God keeps me humble.
For sure.
Because that is the legit foundation of why I do what I do and when I do it. So so my background comes from a humble family. Nobody's too flashy. There's a lot of accolades and things that people can flaunt in my family, but we don't have to. It's kind of like you just humble yourself. You do what you got to do. You mind your business.
Got you.
Yeah.
Keep your nose on your own work, right? Just like the teacher told you.
Yeah.
So speaking of which, who gave you sort of your first taste into like music lessons?
Music lessons. Oh man. Okay. So besides my dad, of course, because he was a drummer, I'm a drummer. I started taking lessons, music theory lessons at like age 5 or 6.
Wow.
With Mr. Garfield Williams. He started teaching me. So he taught me music theory. He also, helped teach the likes of like Lil John Roberts and Brian Moore, my cousin Manny.
Name dropping. Drop them names.
Man, he taught a lot of people, and he's legit.
Okay.
He is definitely legit. Philly native for sure.
Okay. Is he still around? Is he still teaching?
Yeah. I don't know if he's still teaching, but I'm gonna have to reach out to him on Facebook, man. He might have been started to retire by now.
Oh no, you can't. You gotta give away the jewels. You gotta find a way to teach too. Somebody gotta give the jewels.
Oh yeah, I'm teaching. I teach music theory lessons right from the house.
Dope.
I do virtual lessons and teach little kids starting from ages 3 on up.
Dope. Definitely appreciate it, man. Somebody gotta give it away to the kids.
Oh yeah.
So why the drums in particular? Is it just because your pops played it, or how did the drums speak to you that made you really want to pick up the sticks?
Man, I think it's the conversation that you can have in creating the dynamic of the sound of whatever song that you're playing when it comes to drums. I think I've gravitated a lot to that because I did take piano lessons, I took bass lessons, I tried a few instruments, but drums just always seemed to be the thing that captivated my attention. It commands so much. If you take drums out of a song, it'll almost sound empty depending on who else is on the other instruments.
Right.
But the drums definitely carry the tempo. It carries the foundation of the record to me. So, it's like leadership. I know I'm a born leader, and playing drums is definitely that.
Definitely. I always say drums is usually like the heartbeat of a song, man. The song don't pump without good drums.
Yeah, it's golden.
Absolutely. So how many other instruments do you play?
Keyboard, a little bass, little guitar.
Okay.
And I just started playing the guitar like 2 years ago. So that's like a thing. So when I go and I perform, that guitar come out is kind of crazy.
Oh, you gonna get fresh? You gonna go full like Roger Zat with it? You gonna get like the auto tune joint and go off into like loud soup? Like do it.
Hey, he's such a legend. I don't know, but the way I probably like more with like a little Lenny Kravitz feel to it.
Oh,
yeah,
that's different. I gotta hear what that sound like, cause you got the look, you got the feel, you got the style. But I need to know how the music gonna connect with me, cause that's all it's about. I'm the consumer. I want to know how it's gonna connect with me. So, you got your first placement at 14? Explain that to me.
Yeah. Okay. So my dad started producing for this rap group out of Delaware called Disciples of Christ or something like that. Man, it was so long ago. But my dad had brought home an MPC 2000. He taught me how to make beats off the floppy disk.
Wow.
And you had to load your sounds in, put the sounds on the patches, and he was like, here you go. So every day after school, homework, drums, MPC, whatever it was. One of the beats I made, they liked it. And that was the song they chose to get put on the radio. So
wow.
Yeah, I was like 13, 14 years old when that came out. And I was, it wasn't like Instagram or nothing back then to go and capture the moment. It was kind of like all I have is the memory of it. But I remember my dad was like, Dante, you got to come when you get home from school. I wish you could have heard what happened today, but we got to talk. Your song was on the radio. It was really, really dope.
Super lit. And the crazy thing is most people around you don't even understand. One, you a 14-year-old programming a MPC.
Right.
Mind blown. Number two, you got access to an MPC because there's some grown folk who wanted one and couldn't get one.
Yeah, MPC 2000. Yep.
Yeah, and you caught a placement at 14, not by happenstance, but you actually put in the work. You sacrificed the time and studied your craft. Like even early, it was something in you that was good enough to get that at 14. Like that's mind blowing. Super dope.
Yeah, man. Yep, 14 years old. I was doing that and studying how to start a record label. I
Wow.
would come home and look that up. Yeah, that's when you had to hook the internet up through the phone line
Oh, I've been there. I
and
know.
put the AOL disc in.
Listen,
I had to do that.
listen. These kids will never understand, bro.
Never. They got it
Listen.
so good.
I'm talking about dial-up.
Yeah.
Dial-up. You talking about trying to download an MP3 when they first existed, or ripping
Yeah,
music, or
man.
doing anything? Oh my God. They don't know nothing. They don't know
Crazy.
nothing about the AOL chat rooms.
Nah. Not at all.
They don't know nothing about
Not
that.
at all.
And having like 3 or 4 different aliases because you get stalked sometimes.
Man, listen, that AOL count.
Or when it's too many people on, you get kicked off, and somebody calls
Oh,
your
yep.
phone and you get kicked
Yep.
off.
Yep.
But we can't keep reminiscing about old times. So since the pandemic happened, right, and you got stuck in a beautiful place in a weird way, like explain to me, for those who do not know your situation currently or what happened in the past, explain what happened.
So, just to give a little backstory, 2018, I got hired by Quincy Jones Production and his whole team to go to Dubai and play drums for this artist named Rogelio Douglas.
Okay.
So 2020 come, they asked me to go back, music director for Versace Hotel in Dubai. So we leave.
Pause. Super big. Who does that? From Philly. You the music director for the Versace Hotel. One, we don't know that there is a Versace Hotel. Shouts out to Donatella, right? And you become the music director for the Versace Hotel in Dubai. Continue, please.
Yeah, so became the
Quincy Jones. I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but you just like
Quincy,
slightly dropped the Quincy Jones on us, like he isn't the godfather of everybody's music right now.
He's legend, super legend, bro.
Legendary, super connected. But continue.
Yeah, so I get the call to go back in January last year. The craziest thing how it started was we had just found out that the Iraq or somewhere near Dubai had just shot down one of the airplanes flying over. And I was like, Lord God. So they get on the intercom. Well, before I get to that, so we get to the airport. I'm on a plane. We got to fly from Philly to Boston, Boston to Dubai. They say, Dante, the lady next to me tapped me, was like, hey, look at your screen in front of you. And I was like, what happened? I look up, Kobe Bryant passed away moments ago.
Wow.
We're on the tarmac to go next in line.
Oh no!
To go in the air.
This is not a good time to fly.
No.
At all.
No, not a good time to fly. The whole airplane, everything was quiet. It was on everybody's screen. We take off. We land an hour later in Boston, and my phone is blowing up. I'm looking at it, and it's like the world shut down. So I'm in Dubai. March 14th hits, which is also Quincy's birthday. We get a meeting. They're like, yo, this pandemic, this COVID seems to be shutting down everything all over the world. Do y'all want to go home, or do you want to leave, or would you want to just wait it out like 2 weeks? We think COVID's going to pass. I was like, oh, man, yeah. Yeah, we was like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we waited out 2 weeks, no problem.
No sweat.
So,
no sweat.
Yeah, because we were already set to be there till April 26th. Yeah, April 26th. I was like, yeah, man, this will be vacation. 2 weeks, we going to chill, hotel, go to the pool. We all right. Man, we should have went home. We should have went home. They shut down the airport a week later. They all airlines, everything was done. And I missed my son's birthday. His birthday was April 29th. I was so tight about that. And I did everything I can to get me and the fellas home. Yeah, I didn't even get home till almost June. Almost June when they opened it up. We had to fly to Chicago, go to this whole CDC, all of this craziness just to get back to Philly. It was insane. Wow. They would not let us back home, bro, at all.
Wow. But you made it, though.
Oh, yeah.
Can you give me the greatest thing that came out of you being held hostage in the country by COVID?
The greatest thing, the mental growth. because I'm such a hands-on person. So for my family, I like to make sure I'm taking the trash out. I'm doing grocery shopping. I'm making sure I got to do this. I'm shoveling snow. But when you're in another country and you can't do nothing, and mind you, while I'm there, it's not like Dubai was completely shut down. They let us still go out. We was able to still go to the mall. They just shut everything down by 7 o'clock so they can disinfect the whole city. So we were walking around, but here in the States, it was like a movie. We kept seeing all the negative stuff on social media, all the negative stuff on the news. So for me, I had to read books. I was praying even more, and just mentally, man, like the mental growth that happened for me of how to just let go instead of trying to control everything. Ooh. That helped me become more of a better man for sure.
That's a big piece right there. Let's clap it up for that right there. Let go. So we can figure it all out. Sometimes you gotta let it go. That's a beautiful thing. So you're doing some humanitarian work? Explain that.
Yeah.
That's, for me, that's a huge piece. It's always, the world and the media will tell us that it's always about the bag. It's always about the money. It's always about how much we can pull from the system and from everybody around us. But that's the real work. What are you doing for mankind?
Okay, so 2018, when I first got to Dubai, one of the owners of the hotel, his name is Reza Jafar, he invited us to his house a week after we got there. We get to his house, we have dinner, and he tells us about this company he has called Global Sustainability Network, as they call it, the GSN. He tells us this story about how these little girls who were at the time, I believe, like maybe 8 and 10 years old, how they were sold into slavery to become other men's wives at 8 and 10 years old in this other country.
Wow.
At the time, my daughters were the exact same age. So I was like, there's no way I can hear this and not do anything about it or try to help. So I asked them, you know, how I could be a part. I started to intern for this billionaire. I'm in Dubai to work for Quincy, and I'm like, I'm gonna go a step further. I'm not just gonna chill in the hotel all day. I'm gonna work. Let me learn something on my off time. So I went and I interned for this billionaire, and this guy, his company, my guy, his name is Miguel Gutierrez. He also helped run some of the GSN stuff, and I was able to help set up set up some conferences and things like that they were doing for humanitarian stuff, for job creation, ending modern day slavery, and human trafficking. So I became a part of that, became a member of GSN, and I'm still a part now. We won a David Rockefeller Award back in 2019. We went to New York, and yeah, man, I'm still just trying to bring a lot of awareness to the fact that there are so many issues, especially with little kids in other countries. Like, should no 8-year-old be married to no grown man? No way, shape, or form should that be happening.
Agreed.
So, yeah, man, and yes, it's pretty bad. So I'm trying to do my part and save some lives.
Yeah, it touched you, and you did something about it. Wow, man, that's super dope. If nobody else does and nobody else hears about it, I'm applauding you. Everybody else in the room, Kara's applauding you right now.
Thank you, man.
We appreciate it, man. People need this. Being a voice for the people who do not have one is amazing, man. And it's so much of a stretch of what it is that we will be able to see as your talent, man.
Yeah.
Definitely appreciate it, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Absolutely. So as a musician, as a traveling musician, do you have a super dope or a super horrible gig story that you're willing to share with me?
Woo! Super dope or super horrible? Okay. Super dope is, my cousin's probably gonna kill me for this, but I gotta tell him. So I got a call back in 2009, 2010 to go be a drum tech for my cousin Manny on for Travis McCoy from Gym Class Heroes. He had just released a song Billionaire with Bruno Mars, so that John was everywhere.
Everywhere. Super big single.
Man, right. We toured off of that song for like 2-3 years. Every Jingle Ball tour, everything. We did TV shows, Ellen, Queen Latifah, Jay Leno, blah blah blah.
Everywhere.
Man, we get to Oklahoma, And I'm setting up the drums. Everything is cool. Disney stars walking around and all these people there, man. They said, yo, Manny missed his flight. And I was like, what? How he flying from California to Oklahoma. I'm already there like a day early to set up. He missed his flight. They said, Tay, you might have to do the show tonight. And I was like, I ain't had no rehearsals. I know that. And then it's like, you know, being a drummer and the type of training that I grew up with, it's always like, you never know when it's your time.
For sure.
So study the music, know what you got to do, because you might not know, you don't know when you're going to get the call. So needless to say, I sound checked, went back to the hotel. I had to go tell Trav, because me and Trav just was on some what's up stuff, but I had to go to his room and assure him, like, listen, man, I'm a drummer too. I got you. He was like, all right, man. He dabbed me up. I went back to the room. I was like, Lord God, I cannot mess this up. You talking about like 20, 30,000 screaming kids, and I got to do a whole set. Yeah, I killed that pub.
Hey.
Killed that thing.
Hey.
And my man Trav was like, yo, you family, you little bro now. Thank you, man. Oh, my gosh. And, you know, and then from there, like, it opened up the opportunity, because when my cousin Manny got signed with his band Ghost Town to Atlantic, I started playing for Trav more, and I was able to do the TV shows with Ellen, and it was a lot of great opportunities that came from just being ready.
Yes, yes, Lord. Talk about that.
Man, I can't imagine.
Ready so you don't have to get ready.
Oh my gosh. I've been all 2020. I was preparing for what's happening now in 2021, because I already know, and I knew then that something was going to happen that's better than the year that we just came out of. Yeah. So for me, it was all about reading, networking, connecting, doing things. Man, I shot like 4 or 5 videos during the pandemic overseas. I was connecting with people and just trying to make relationships, because everybody kept saying, well, what's not happening now is going to happen next year. Man, because of that, I'm now able to have conversations with people over in the UAE, where I'm going to be helping represent the United States at the next World Expo in Dubai as a performer. So I'll be helping as an ambassador to perform, because I connected with the right people when everybody else was in panic mode trying to figure out what's going to happen next.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
Staying ready.
Right. Because God got a plan bigger than what we understand, right?
100%.
100%.
Yes.
All the time. 100%. So I'm watching you play, and I'm watching you do a bunch of things, and you get inside the groove. What does the groove feel like for a musician like yourself? Like when you in the pocket, when your notes is on point, when you in tune, when you driving force behind the band because you're a drummer. What does that feel like?
Man, it's magic, bro. It's magic. It's magic, and it's nothing that can be compared to that. Musically, there's so much that can happen when you're in tune, and especially when you're playing with the right people on stage. Because if you all are connected, that means that it's going to bleed into the audience. They're going to feel it. You know what I'm saying? So when everybody is in tune with one another, connecting, and we study the music,
for sure.
Gotta say study, because you know, sometimes you gotta be like, you can't just sometimes go up there and feel it. You gotta know what you're playing to know what you're feeling. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So yeah, man, when you in the groove, nothing can compare to that, because now you know you're touching people in the midst of whatever you're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Super dope. Now, the question is, right, do you have a favorite musician?
Yes.
Like just one? Go
yes.
Ahead. Go ahead. Who?
Miles Davis.
Oh, not Miles. You just gonna swing big. That's for the heads. Miles, tell us about why Miles. Because if people don't know, Miles Davis is probably one of the most influential artists of the 20th century. He once told somebody in the White House that he changed music about 4 or 5 times. What did they do to be here? Super cocky, super black, super talented, super inside himself, and was
will turn his back on the audience.
What? Because he knew, like, you're gonna feel this. I'm not worried about what you think. Just listen. Go ahead, please. Yeah. Why Miles?
Okay, so Miles Davis, my dad would religiously play jazz music, gospel music, jazz music. So if it wasn't my family member Harvey Mason with Foreplay, if it wasn't his jazz group, it was Miles Davis. I'm also a huge fan of Frank Sinatra, but Miles Davis, to me, just his presence and how he commanded what he wanted on stage without even having to look sometimes at his musicians, to me, just speaks so much to his character and his demeanor. His demeanor was insane. I don't know if I would turn my back to the crowd and play drum, but just how he was able to connect with people with his back turned tells me there was something to this guy, because no matter what, they still paid attention. Yeah, it was super disrespectful. Turn your back on the people.
Yeah.
But he commanded what he commanded, and they loved it regardless.
Right.
Yeah, he's great.
There has been none after, and there were none before Miles.
No,
nobody,
not at all.
Nobody like Miles. So pulling it back into today's time, because that's a super esoteric. Well, you know what? That's not true. More people should be listening to Miles if they into music.
Yeah. Miles, John Coltrane.
Yeah.
Man, so many people. Bob James. And we can even modernize it and say, like, for today's time, musician-wise, Robert Glasper's phenomenal.
Of course.
He's a great thinker. Chris Dave. And if I want to go Philly on him, man, John Roberts, Darryl Robertson, Brian Moore, George Spanky McCurdy, like right. Trey, Mike Nelson, everybody. I can name everybody. These are
whole home team, right?
Yeah, the whole home team. Philly runs the music industry. I'll just put that out there.
This is what I'm hearing, and this is what it really sounds like. It's like either you got a drummer, a bassist, a keyboardist that's either they from Philly or they was taught or influenced by somebody from Philly.
Yeah.
It really
that is the truth. That is the truth. At one point, Philly was on every gig. Somebody from Philly was on every gig. And now, Adam Blackstone, everybody from Philly is on something. And he has a lot to do with some of those things too. Yeah, man, I got a lot of great OGs. Shout out to Tony Moore. He's definitely one of them.
Hey, shout out to Tony Moore.
My Lord. Growing up to Jehovah Chosen, and his mind, Tony's mind is, he sees colors. I know he sees colors. I see him. And there's no way to try to describe Tony's mind. He sees colors.
Wow, he's sitting somewhere in the dark right now while watching this video, patting himself on the back, I'm guessing. So you've known Tony since you was a kid? Like, that's how far you go back with Tony?
Okay. Yeah, so Tony, I think my dad helped with one of his recordings, with JC's live recording. It was at Open Door Missionary Baptist Church, man, in West Philly, bro, like in the 90s. My cousin Tasha was a part of the group. She helped direct. And I remember sitting on the balcony. I was dead center. I remember sitting on the balcony, and I was like, yo, he has every Philly musician down there playing, and they're just rotating. It was like, I think, 3 drummers, 2 drummers. And then fast forward to the second recording, you got Sheila E. up there. Who can get Sheila E. to play on a gospel record in Philly? Tony Moore.
Wow.
Tony can do that.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, super inspirational, man. Wow. He's great.
Yeah, I don't think he tell these stories too often.
Nah, he don't. I'll tell him for him what I know.
Super dope. Now I know more. Now I'm going to harass him more when I talk to him.
Yeah.
So everything's about music, right? Who you listening to right now? Other than yourself or the home team, whose sound do you think is dope or that people should know?
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. It's very, very hard to find some inspiration with music. With the way that I compose, I just finished this my second course with Yale University, and I'm getting ready to do a second course with Hong Kong University, where they're digging into the minds of composers and their symphonies, such as Beethoven and a few others. That's what I want to figure out, because the type of composition and music that I'm getting into in the UAE to produce for these people, that's what they want to hear. And so I've been kind of training my ear differently now, because yeah, we can do R&B, hip hop, gospel, jazz, rock. We can do all that all day in our sleep. We got to level up now and fine tune our ear to understand musicality as a whole. So I'm trying to master myself as a musician and digging more into other realms of music that I am familiar with, but that I just don't know too much of. So, you know, I got my favorite producers, but right now speaking, I'm trying to get more into another level of music right now.
Give me that then. See, what you're talking about is something else. You're talking about elevating your game so that you can play harder and longer. Super dope. It sounds like you just been in a cave training on some Shaolin stuff. Like you just been waiting for the iron to get hot enough to strike, because you got all this preparation that you're gonna give out to the world. But give me a producer then. Just one.
My top producer. Man, that's not fair.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
One?
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, I don't know.
You back it down. You got the answer. You want to say it, but you back it down.
I don't know, man. That's so difficult because it's such a plethora of just producers that make sense to me in the way that I think. So to try to say who's better than the other, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if I could pick
Let's
a
give
favorite.
you another scenario, right?
All right.
Your life is on the line.
Oh, no.
You're going to need one person to produce a track. This track, if the person likes it, will save your life. Who is your phone a friend producer that you're calling? Who's
Pharrell.
You call it? Okay, see, you could have just gave me the answer, baby. You ain't have to drag it out. You could have just said Pharrell. Mr. Happy definitely going to do it for you.
Yeah, I'll call Pharrell.
Why not? He's got multiple genres, multiple disciplines. His sounds like nobody else. That boy from Virginia does it like nobody else.
Yeah. Now, if you had to go old school, I'll say Quincy.
Yeah, that's like a cheat code. That's like, that's like 92 Jordan. Yeah, of course it's going to work.
Yeah, between Quincy and David Foster from back in the day, man, just the amount of music that they produced for like Celine Dion, Whitney, and Michael.
Right.
Oh my Lord. You cannot put those guys in the box for how they were able to dictate music and get it out there to everybody.
Right.
Those are my back in the day number ones, but yeah, man.
Yeah, because you're talking about people who had excellence across multiple decades at multiple times in their lives with multiple genres.
Yeah.
It's completely different than a lot of people who sit around and quote unquote produce these days. Nothing against them, but this is different.
Man, we talking about nowadays, it's hard to have a favorite producer, because even some of our favorite producers from early 2000s who was killing the game, they hold one button now and it do everything for them. They ain't got to do no chords, they ain't got to do no structures. There's so many different apps and programs out there where you can download and press a button and your song's done.
Wow.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Everything gets a little bit easier, right? But
definitely easy. But it's like trying to play a Rhodes sound on a keyboard versus actually having a Rhodes key, actual Rhodes to play, or playing the actual organ, or having an organ on the keyboard. Right. It's like the authenticity of it is, you can't mess with that.
Right. I smell you. I see what you're doing. You're a purist. Yeah. You're a purist at heart. I see what you're doing. So, Dante, is there anything that you want people to know about your music that defies genres? Let people know something about your music. What you got coming up?
Yeah. So, I just linked up with a great lawyer, man, who is helping me to solidify the next level of my music label that I have called Vortex Music Group. So I'm going to be releasing some music, planning for March 11th with the music video and a single on the same day. Performing later this year for the expo in Dubai. But as far as my sound is concerned, man, I don't like to be boxed in. I always believe in just being so super creative that nobody can ever try to dictate who you are. And for me, it goes back to 2008. I was with this management team, and they said that they had an offer on the table from Shady Records, but one of the A&R said that he couldn't sign me because they didn't know how to market me, or they would have to shelf me because they didn't know how to put anything behind my music. So of course I'm not going to do anything like that and sign any contracts or anything. It's stupid. So from then, man, like I just really understood that my lane is different. I remember going into music and asking God, like, really help me to be me and not like nobody else.
Yeah.
So when you hear my music, you see the visuals, you hear my music, you see my performances. People will not really expect what they're hearing based on, I guess, how I look or the promo or the marketing behind it. But, you know, when you listen to my music, you're definitely going to see a lot of colors and a lot of different emotions too.
Yeah, it's all you. It's completely different, and you know that it's something authentic because it's not grabbing from somebody else's sound. Absolutely.
Yeah.
When I was giving you a listen, so your illustrious career all over the world, playing with different people, second generation musician, knowing Tony, like all of these things, you carving your own path. What do you hope that Dante's legacy is going to be once it's all done?
My legacy?
Yes.
Oh, man, I just want to touch somebody, man. If I could help change somebody's perspective on life to keep them from giving up, that's my thing. My motto, my mission has always been to be an inspiration to people who need to be inspired. That's always been my thing. And I honestly believe just being yourself, not caring about what people think. Man, I was dyeing my hair red at 15 years old. I had skinny jeans. Man, look, I got married young. All of this stuff, man, and all the stuff that wasn't cool to do, I was doing it. They you know, they had the names for what I was doing, but now to turn around and see that it's actually a thing.
It is the thing, not a thing.
It is the thing. It's the thing. Yeah, you're right. And I'm like, man, this is it's good to know that I stayed the course and I didn't switch up to be something that I knew I wasn't in that season. Yeah.
Don't turn the ship. We're going in the right direction, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely.
You got to stay the course. You got to, because you have no idea who you could come in contact with that may be ready to end their life because they don't feel included. You know, man, forget the crowds. Forget the crowds. You don't need them.
Right. I feel like either even myself, we're all a bunch of isolated outcasts and a bunch of pretenders. You know what I'm saying? That's it. It's a bunch of, we all feel alone. We're all isolated. We're all feel a little bit weird. And then there's people who try to buy into what everybody else is doing for the idea of normalcy. You gotta be who you are. I tell people I've been strange all my life. I ain't trying to change.
Yeah, yo.
Really.
Yeah, normalcy is cool for certain things.
Sure.
But when it comes time to really put the pedal to the metal, man, and really do some work for what you really want to do in life and your vision, your dream, yeah, man, you might have to take some different routes because it ain't gonna be easy being different.
Absolutely. It ain't gonna be easy being different.
Especially with no team. It's hard to find people. And for those who are listening, like, you must stay the course, even when your family, your friends, your team, they fail on what they said they were going to do for you. Because you got to keep going. You got to keep going.
Yeah. I had a pastor say one time that discouragement is the devil's tool to derail you from your destiny.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Sometimes people fail you, but they were never supposed to succeed because you were supposed to figure it out.
Yeah,
but super dope.
There's a lot for us to figure out.
Super
a lot
dope.
to figure out, and along the way, we gotta make sure that our mentality is right, and that our will is strong enough to keep moving forward. Because if you really don't desire what you're chasing, man, you're doomed. Right. You ain't gonna get but 2 steps you're gonna get to one single, a half a tour, and a whole bunch of failing.
And choke.
But oh yeah, you can't choke when you look. Yeah, you can't choke. Imagine, I can't imagine if I would have choked during that gig in Oklahoma, or when I was in Dubai and I could have just mentally lost it. I ain't had no help. You know, I'm with a bunch of foreigners. Thank God a lot of those people are family to me. You know, I got some good resources out there. But, bro, I was locked out the country. I could not get back to the United States at all during the pandemic to help my family. If I wasn't mentally strong enough to keep moving forward, who knows?
Right.
I don't even want to know.
Right. But you were set up for it. You was already prepared for it.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful thing, man. Listen, do you have anything else you want to tell the people? I'm at the end of my questions. I feel like I know a whole lot more about you. You got a fan out of me. Maybe you got a fan out of a couple people in the room.
Thank you, man.
Super dope artist. Mr. Dante Kennedy, is there anything else you want us to know?
Oh man, I think stay the course. If you are doubting yourself and who you are as a person, stop it. If you don't have a team around you, if you don't have the right people in your ear telling you what you need to do, and you really don't need other people's opinions to define who you are. The likes and the comments, they still watching anyway. They might not hit that button, but they watching.
For sure.
So even if we live a life and we only sell one album, but that one album was effective to help one person, you done good.
You done good. Just one. Good. Each one teach one. And if you teach one, teach one.
Oh man, it's worth it.
It's worth it.
It's worth the 99. It's worth the 99-cent royalty check. It's worth it. I don't even think it's 99 cents no more. It's like terrible.
Damn, the 99-cent royalty check. That's rough. That's rough.
Yeah, man.
Hey, but you earned it. Listen, Dante Kennedy, it's been my absolute pleasure to talk to you today, man.
Thank you, man.
I really appreciate you for coming through and showing a little bit of love to the fans, man. I mean, the world may not know you, but people definitely do, and you are definitely acquired taste, man. I hope everybody touches you and reaches out, man. You have a blessed day. You have a blessed evening. I've been your host, Sel. Our sponsor is Studio Breed. Holla at Studio Breed for all of your studio needs. Please, they family, and they take care of you. Man, y'all have a great day, bro.
Yeah.
Peace, Dante.
Thank you, man. You too.
All right, bro. Peace.
Yep.